Jimin, you're not going anywhere in that outfit, said firmly, but resonating throughout the apartment. Y/N. It's only shorts and a t-shirt. What's so important? Gr degree at Ned de Europly and rolled their eyes. They could almost hear the GE at RS turning in his head as he looked for an explanation. Jimin, it's 2 Rev Euro at Ling. Y/N spun around to face him, hands on their P.S. Y/N, since when do you care what other people think? Jimin stepped CL degreeser, his gaze on you at veering. Jimin, since you became mine, his tone leaving no room for argument. Unspoken tension keened the air between them. They had done this dance numerous times since they signed the agreement that kept them together. Y/N had consented to it purely for practical reasons, not anticipating the resulting posse Venice. And yet here they were, catch up in a discussion over something as insignificant as a costume. Jimin's gaze geared on the bare SK, and that the shorts Rev Euro led as it swept over Y/N's body. His hands CL Euro and sent head into STS by his sides as his jaw tensed. He Gr degree led softly. Jimin, I don't want anyone else staring at you like that. Y/N's heart skipped a beat. His posse Venice obtained both excitement and fear. It was flattering, but also suffocating. They had not signed up for this level of OBS Euro shown. Y/N took a Euro PBR Euro ATH and made the decision to address the problem directly. With a steady voice. Y/N, Jimin, we need to talk about boundaries. He moved CL degreeser still, invading their evade area. Jimin, whispered a you are mine, in a voice that was somehow louder than a shout. Jimin, I need all of you. Y/N felt a chill go down her SPNE at those words. This was a side of him they had never seen before, and they weren't entirely sure they liked it. However, there was a certain charm to his intensity, something that compelled them to surrender. Jimin, Y/N started again, their voice softer this time. This isn't healthy. His T-degree uke was light as a feather but firm as he reached out to brush a stray hair off their face. Jimin, I'll be the judge of what's beneficial for us, he declared, his eyes Gr degree wing elstful. A flutter of excitement and fear Cr degree said Y/N's stomach. Jimin's gaze had an irresistible magnetic pull, even though they knew they should push back. His Br Euro ATH felt warm against their cheek as he leaned in. Jimin, allow me to tend to you, he murmured, his hand circling their W adist. Y/N's B degree dy responded to his T degree uke even though they were hesitant, but their resolve faltered. With their voices barely audible above a $WHI per, they managed to ask Y/N, but what about when you're not here? Jimin's eyes never left theirs as his GR/PTIHT Euroned. Jimin, you'll think of me, with a faint smile forming on his L. P.S. You'll remember who you belong to. The words jolted Y/N, igniting a $dollar ion they had no idea they POS $Euro said. They lew it Ned into him, their hands at chinged at the back of his N Euro CK and key ing him with a fiery intensity that seemed to consume them both. As the key $S progressed, Jimin's hands SL, ped under the hem of the Y/N's shirt. Their earlier protests, as well as the fabric, were quickly forgotten on the floor. They were L degree ST in the moment, feeling Jimin's hands on their SKN and his B equals DYPR Euro sing against theirs. With a start, the sound of TE at ring fabric SN at ped them back to reality. In his excitement, Jimin had T degree right now Y/N's shorts, EXP degree sing them. Y/Ng at $ped, but they experienced excitement rather than fear. This was a raw, primal side of Jimin that they had never seen before. He carried them to the bedroom with ease after king them up. It was enticing the way he T degree uchade them and gazed at them with POS $Euro SS Venice. They couldn't help but wonder if this was the true experience of being wanted and owned. Jimin law dy/N on the B Euro D, his eyes never leaving theirs. He began to UDR Euro SS himself, his movements slow and deliberate, as if savoring every moment. Y/N watched, their heart racing, as he Rev Euro led the top muscles and tattoos that adorned his B degree dy. As he Ambret said them, the mattress sank and his B-degree DY heated up against theirs. His T-degree yuk carried an urgency that made them want to claim and $s. And the interon city of their union as he and Euro read them made y/n realize that maybe, just maybe, they didn't mind that they were his. They would surrender to the OBS Euro dollar shown, allowing it to SPR send ad like wildfire for the time being at least. However, they knew in their hearts that this couldn't last and that pos Euro dollar dollariveness was insufficient for a relationship to succeed. There was no denying their obvious $dollar ion for one another, but it seemed to fill the room. Jimin began to exp degree re every incent h of y/n's b degree dy, his hands gr degree wing more demanding and his key es more urgent. Y/n could sense themselves to sl, ping away from c degree troll, giving in to his power's attraction. They wr at ped their l euro gs around his watt st, urging him to euro per, but their m degree at ns of ple at your mingling with the sound of their r at ged br euroets. The world outside their apartment walls ceased to exist, as if the very air had t-sent Euroned to h degree ld them not in this moment of ecstasy. But as the heat of the moment began to f at so too did the th pi ill of the power struggle. Y/n l at y in Jimin's ams, their b degree dies entwined, and felt a strange sense of emptiness. They yet knew they had to find a way to balance his pos $euro civ nature with their own need for independence. The following days were a delicate dance, AP and PLL between ir and d equals ut. Y/n tested the waters, wearing outfits that sk root the line of what Jimin deemed appropriate. Each time, they felt his eyes on them, a silent challenge that made their Euro art race. This isn't what I signed up for, Y/n firmly stated one evening following an especially heated argument. I can't live like this. Jimin turned to face them, confusion and desperation mixed together in his eyes. His GR, PT, GHT Euroned around their WR, ST. Jimin, what do you want from me? Y/n, I want a partner, not a jail, in a steady voice. Y/n, if you can't respect my boundaries, then maybe this isn't going to work. The final words hung heavy in the air. Jimin's face went from one of rage to almost pure terror. He was aware that in order to be with Y/n without suffocating them, he had to change. With a step back, he let his hand dr degree p to his side. He spoke in a raspy whisper, I'll try, he said. For you, I'll try. Y/n searched his eyes, seeking any indication of dishonesty. However, all they wit and Euro said was pure, undegree uchade love. They nodded after inhaling de Euro ply. They uttered a hesitant. Okay, when speaking. Let's try. There were many potential risks and moments of uncertainty on the uncertain road ahead. However, as they met Jimin's gaze, Y/n sensed hope. Perhaps, just perhaps, they could make their way through this emotional maze and discover a love that was wild and unrestrained. Jimin looked into their eyes, her intensity not lessening in the slightest. I'll do anything, he declared with sincerity. Anything to keep you with me. Y/n took a deep breath, sensing the significance of his remarks. They were aware that Jimin's OB Euro dollar shown had two sides and could both give and take. I need you to comprehend, but they murmured. I need to be able to be our Euro ave. His hold on their WR, ST low degree end as he nodded. I'll get it, he assured me. I'll be better. Jimin tried hard over the next few weeks to seek degree troll. His pos Euro dollar in Venice. Even though he didn't always succeed, Y/n could see the struggle and effort he was making in his eyes. Even though it annoyed them, they were grateful for it. For now, it was sufficient that they knew he was making an effort. They went on dates, the kind where it didn't feel like a war zone. They laughed together without the undercurrent of $ses in Venice. Y/n started to see the man beneath the pos $euro civ covering, the one who was scared of losing them. Y/n felt something change one night as they L at Y in BROD with Jimin's arm WR at ped protectively around their watt st. They no longer resented his T degree yuk but found it comforting, realizing that his pos $euro s. Venice was a sign of his love, a love so strong that it occasionally scared him. I'm grateful, Y/N said as she turned to look at him. With a surprised expression on his face, Jimin turned to face them. For what? For attempting, Y/N murmured, that softly key ing his you're okay, for wanting to be better. He drew them nearer while examining their faces with his own. He whispered, I'll be yours forever. But I want you to be yours too. It was a beginning, a tiny crack in the wall of his $euro shown. And that was sufficient for now. Y/N understood that love was about development and understanding rather than degree min at NCE. As long as he didn't attempt to put them in a cage, they were ready to travel this path alongside him. Their partnership required careful give and take to be maintained. But each step they took together felt like a mastery and proved how dedicated they were to one another. Even though they still had a long way to go, Y/N was beginning to think that perhaps, just possibly, they would be able to find a love that would ignite rather than quench their hearts. Y/N experienced the soft wind teasing their hair and the warmth of the sun on their skin as they strolled through the park one afternoon. With his thumb making slow circles with his hand in theirs, Jimin gave them a sense of calm that they hadn't experienced in a while. You know, Y/N began, breaking the comfortable silence. I've been thinking. Jimin looked at them, his eyes wary but hopeful. What about? I think I understand why you're like this, they said, squeezing his hand. You've been hurt before, and you're scared of losing me.